From Biden-friendly moderators to a debate commission stacked with never-Trumpers, the overt bias behind the organization running the presidential debates is being compared to that of the left-leaning media. But with just 25 days until the election, RNC Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel speaks on what the best plan of action for the Trump campaign is going forward. Here's One America's Jenn Pellegrino.
Joining me now is GOP Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel. Ronna, thanks so much for taking time this morning.
Thanks for having me. Great to be with you.
Well, first of all, I have to ask, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling much better. I will say I was pretty fatigued and sick, and I wish I, was our president who's just bounced back so quick, but I'm doing a lot better. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear that, and obviously glad to hear that the president is doing so much better as well. Want to talk with you about these debates. Obviously, it's kind of up in the air what's going to happen going forward with the next couple of debates. And the Commission on Presidential Debates really showing their bias. It's something that the president has been calling out for quite a while, long before we really got into the bulk of this election cycle. Do you believe that another debate would be beneficial at this point?
Well, let's be honest. These debates are about the president being able to call out Joe Biden because the media is not doing it. This commission is a joke. They are not nonpartisan. They are in for Joe Biden, and it's so clear. They started debates before voting or after voting had started, despite the campaign asking, "Can we delay?" They now unilaterally canceled an in-person debate without talking to the candidates. They are totally wired for Joe Biden, but it is good to have an opportunity for these candidates to be on the stage.
What's your reaction to this stunt that Nancy Pelosi has planned for today, invoking the 25th Amendment?
Every American should be really worried right now because Democrats are not hiding the fact that they are running to change America. They are running to burn down our Constitution. Joe Biden will not answer about stacking the Supreme Court, which means he will. They're going to add 2 new states. They want to get rid of the filibuster. It is the biggest power grab in the history of our country that Democrats are running on, and we will not have the same country if they win. So wake up. This is that election. We won't be America if they win. And Nancy Pelosi, with what she's doing today, is just another show of Democrats always looking for the ultimate power at the expense of the American people. And that is why I'm not sleeping at night, because we have to win this election. But it is egregious to watch the media continually give Joe Biden a free pass and not answer a fundamental question. Are you going to upend the third branch of government and fundamentally rework what our founders intended for our country?
One final question for you. I know, recently, at least in recent weeks, you had been out on the road quite a bit. You've got a grassroots army out there getting voters registered and so forth. What are you seeing right now that might not be reflected in some of these polls that really show Biden with quite a shocking lead?
Yeah, so a couple things we're seeing. One, we're seeing low propensity voters, or 0 for 4 voters, we call them, people who didn't vote in 2016 or the last 4 elections, who are engaging in this election. It's surprising to think that there are people like that, but there are. We're seeing them at the rallies in our data, and we're seeing them as we're traveling the country. And we are putting a ground game together. So we're knocking 1 million doors a week. Joe Biden has no ground game. And the energy we're seeing is through the roof and higher than what we saw in 2016. I think that's being underpolled, but it's going to be tight. And nobody can take this election for granted. And we've got to not just reelect the president, we have to keep our majority in the Senate and take back the House if we're going to have any stop of the Democrats' desire to fundamentally change and burn down the United States of America the way we know it.
GOP Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel, so great to have you with us, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.